I love this cup. It says, "Explore the outdoors." You should. It's from Campground Supply. What's up, everybody? It's Joe with J Blake Photo, and in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about the rumors surrounding Canon cameras, specifically what we're going to be seeing in 2020. Now, I did a video very similar to this about cameras in 2019. It got a lot of attention. I really do believe that each brand has its own kind of personality. People got into the conversation with me, and I really enjoyed that, so I wanted to do that again for 2020. So let's hop in. Now, speaking of Canon cameras, you might notice that my video today is looking pretty crispy. That is because I'm shooting in 4K today using the EOS R. I have my Tamron 28-70, and yes, I am dealing with the gigantic crop. My 6D is actually sitting over on the table there. Okay, so I promise I want to quickly get into this subject, but I do just really briefly want to mention that if you're not subscribed to my channel and you're interested in cool photography information, news, rumors, talking about stuff, reviews, and technology, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. If you like videos like this, hit the like button. If you want to wait till the end, that's fine too. But these videos where I talk about what's coming and what I think might be down the road, that's really to open up a conversation. I want people down in the comments telling me what they think. I've been doing photography for 15 years. I've been doing what we used to call digital media for over 20 years. And before that, I had leadership and management positions in electronics retail. And so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and I really like bringing these conversations to the forefront when we talk about gear and technique and all that kind of stuff. I get a lot of comments on videos like this where they're like, "Hey, you know, we don't want to hear you talking. Where's the camera?" Well, today we're talking about cameras that don't exist yet. So if you're looking for more traditional technology YouTube stuff, I've got those videos too. For example, here's a link to a video that I did a while back talking about connecting eGPUs to older 2015 MacBooks. That's a 2015 MacBook back there. I've got a Vega 56 attached to it. If that's what you're interested in, click that link. Maybe you've got an older Macintosh and you want to use the new sidecar feature with iOS 13 and macOS Catalina. Go ahead and click on the link to that video. That's going to talk about how to do that and how the patch works. Maybe you're into action cameras and you want to know how the Hero 8 Black does compared to the Hero 7 Black, specifically for mountain biking. Well, check out this video, and I compared the two. Tell me what you think. So having said all of that, last but not least, I want to plug my Instagram. Please go ahead and check me out there. I've been posting a little bit more, and you know, I love pushing myself to put more stills up. I do a lot of video and a lot of video editing, a lot of drone stuff, but I'm really trying to do more stills with my camera now that, especially that I'm walking around with the EOS R, and I'm having a really good time with it. So go ahead and check me out on Instagram. That's at jblake.photo. I'll go ahead and put a link down there in the description. Check me out there, follow me. So now that all that business is aside, let's talk about Canon cameras in 2020. So let's do a quick run through on the existing lineup. Hopefully my graphics department will be able to put everything together the way that I want. But I kind of like to put things in a couple of different categories. Your high-level pro, your kind of mid-level or standard pro, your prosumer, and then your more traditional kind of consumer hobbyist. So in the high-level pro category, we definitely have the current top-end Canon camera, which is the 1DX Mark II, still selling for $5,400 or $5,500, although you can get it much cheaper right now. And then below that, you have the 5D Mark IV in the kind of pro line, mid-pro line. And that one's actually on sale right now. I don't know if this is temporary or permanent, but right now you can get one for about $2,500. Again, links for all these cameras down in the description, and all the links in the description are affiliate links, so they help me out and my channel. If you're looking for any photo gear, I appreciate it. With the 5D Mark IV, you also have the 5DS and the 5DSR. Which are your high-resolution 5D cameras and the high-resolution version that's designed for astral photography. Kind of prosumer area, we have our two full-frame kind of entry levels, which are your 6D Mark II and your EOS R on the mirrorless side. And then just recently we have the EOS RA that was introduced, which is kind of similar to the 5D SR in that there are modifications made to the sensor specifically for astral photography. And then down below the kind of prosumer level, we have our 90D and our EOS RP. And then down in the consumer hobbyist area, there is just a whole mess of cameras down there. So you've got the T7, you've got the T7i, you've got the SL3, the M200, you got the M6. There's a lot of APS-C and mirrorless down there. In my previous video when I talked about the 2019 cameras, I didn't really go over that stuff. I'm not gonna go over it in this video here for two reasons. Number one, I still might do another video on that. And number two, I feel like a lot of the technology in this top level really has a tendency to just kind of trickle down. And so when we talk about it up here, eventually it comes down here. We're gonna talk about these top end cameras in the pro down to prosumer level. So moving from things that we currently have available, I could walk down to a camera store right now and buy these cameras. I bought the EOS R a couple of weeks ago. And moving on from those and into the kind of what do we know we're getting? What do we know is coming soon? If I had done this video about a week ago, I would have mentioned that we were going to get a astral photography tuned mirrorless camera. We got that. So the two things that we know for sure that we are getting is the 1DX Mark III. That camera is basically spec'd out. There's a couple things that we still don't know about it, like exactly how many megapixels it's gonna have. I'm not sure if we know the price yet, but we know that it's going to be a 20-ish megapixel camera. It's gonna shoot 16 frames per second. It's gonna have a significantly improved autofocus system that's gonna borrow a lot from the mirrorless system, and the body will be basically unchanged. The ergonomics will be unchanged. It's coming with dual CFast cards. There's a lot of really cool stuff on there. I'm gonna do another video about the 1DX Mark III, but we know that that's coming. We know it's gonna be here in February-ish, and we'll have it for the Olympics. It's also got some pretty phenomenal video features, 4K RAW, 10-bit internal. There's some really cool stuff going on there. We know that we're going to be getting a high megapixel EOS R variant, similar to the 5DS. I don't know if they'll make a version of that for astrophotography, maybe an A variant similar to what they did with the EOS R, but maybe we'll call that the EOS RS. So I'll put a little thing up here for what I think is going to be the EOS RS. And maybe we'll get an EOS RSA or an EOS RSR. RSR sounds pretty good. I'm down with that. That sounds exciting. And the reason that we know about that camera is because it's been heavily leaked, and a lot of Canon executives have talked about the fact that they want to do a high megapixel mirrorless, that it's coming probably before the second half of next year ends. So maybe June or July. But that's it, honestly, in terms of what we think we're going to be getting between now and summer of next year. There's really nothing else that we've heard of. There's nothing taped out. There's no leaks. At least not that we've seen. Because we've got a lot of new cameras still in the mix, like the 90D is still relatively new, the M6, I don't really count the RA as being new, but and then soon we will have the 1DX Mark III and this high megapixel mirrorless. But after that, there's nothing taped out. And from what I've read and from what we've seen, and this is from multiple sources, that really there's not a whole lot coming out except maybe more DSLRs. Across the market, mirrorless sales are down. Sales are down, unless you're Sony. Now the problem is with Sony, even though they have taken a larger chunk of the market, everyone in the market, whether you're doing DSLRs in your Nikon and Canon or you're doing mirrorless in your Sony, has seen a reduction in the market. There's word that Olympus is going to get out of the market. Sony is doing well, but their actual year-over-year sales were down 3%. Canon sales were down a huge percentage, and they've claimed that mirrorless wasn't what they thought it was going to be thus far. Now that's partly because of the cameras that they released, but Nikon said the same thing, and even though their unit sales are up, their profits are way down. And even though they're selling units, they're not going to make them if they don't make money on them. Everybody's kind of in limbo. I think we'll probably see a 5D Mark V, a full DSLR body, which is kind of a bummer because there's all this RF glass out there that people should be able to take advantage of. I'm curious if there's going to be any way to adapt RF glass back to the 1DX Mark III. You're going to have this amazing optical quality available to you in the Canon brand, but you won't be able to attach it to their flagship camera. Although the EF lenses are fantastic. There's lots of them out there and they're great. It's a great ecosystem. But the RF lenses have the latest technology and they really are phenomenal. They're doing some crazy stuff with them, and you won't be able to attach it to their newest, most expensive, best camera. And that just kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I think the chances of us getting an EOS R Mark II or EOS RX or EOS RD or something like that to replace the 5D Mark IV in a 5 model is just not going to happen, at least not in the first half of next year. On top of that, I think that we're going to continue to see iterations of the APS-C line. You'll probably see an SL4, you might see an M300, and other cameras like that coming out in the APS-C area. But I'm curious, and I'd love for you to tell me down in the comments, would you prefer them to continue pushing EF lens or EF mount DSLRs out from Canon? Or are you just, you know what, it should be RF all the way, use the adapter when you need it, otherwise give us access to that RF glass? Let me know down in the comments if you had that choice between EF and RF, which direction do you think Canon should be going? Or are you just done with Canon and you're gonna jump ship to Sony? Because the A9 II and the A7 just look amazing. Let me know down in the comments. Again, if you like videos like this where we talk about the market and we create a conversation, then hit the like button for me. If you're interested in videos like this, as well as some of those other videos that I was talking about, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell. That way it lets you know when I put out new videos. Gonna be doing a video soon on the Mavic 2 Pro, an independent review of the GoPro Hero 8 Black. And I'm still working on my review for this camera, the EOS R, which I believe, since firmware 1.4, is a brand new camera. This is a completely different camera than it was when it was released on day one. And I think it is just phenomenal, and I'm very happy with what I paid for it, which was a lot less than it was a year ago. So thanks again for watching. Hit the subscribe and like buttons. Follow me on Instagram. I'd love to see you over there, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.